They say the mountain takes something from every man who enters, but what it gives back, that's the part no one tells you. And there are some stories that arrive not with fanfare, but with a whisper, not with fireworks, but with a flicker. A soft, aching truth that doesn't just speak to your ears, but settles into your chest and lives there. This story is one of those. And if you're brave enough to lean in, it just might change how you see yourself. Because this isn't just a story, it's a mirror. For anyone who's ever felt lost, tired, empty, or invisible, for anyone who's still standing, but no longer sure why. The place? A forgotten town called Pine Hollow, tucked between the ridges of the Appalachian Mountains, where time moves slower and silence feels heavy, the kind of place the world stopped noticing a long time ago. What remains is grit, and people who carry pain in their posture and pride in their eyes. They don't say much, but they survive, and at the center of it all lived a man named Ethan William. Ethan was a miner, like his father, and his father before him. His hands were worn leather, his heart a tired engine. Every morning he woke up before the sun, tied boots that had seen too many years, and walked the same trail to a mine that had long stopped giving back. But he still showed up, not because he believed, but because not showing up felt worse. His wife, Mary, held the home together with strength only love can build. His kids, Anna and Deli, were the last sparks of joy in a house dimmed by quiet desperation. But even their laughter couldn't fill the hollow that grew inside him. He had stopped dreaming, not because he gave up, but because the dreams no longer fit the reality he woke up to. Days blended, nights blurred. Everything felt like maintenance, keeping the lights on, keeping the roof up, keeping himself from falling apart. And maybe you felt that too. Maybe you're there right now, going through the motions, doing what needs to be done, but silently wondering, is this all there is? If that's you, pause. Breathe. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not failing. You're just exhausted from carrying so much alone. And if you're going through something personal right now, something you can't even explain, leave a comment. I'll read it. I'll respond. I will 100% try to help you, because no one should walk through their storm alone. Back to Ethan. One morning, something shifted. Not loud, not dramatic, just different. The air felt heavier, the wind slower, and at the edge of town, under the old oak tree, stood Father Thomas Avery, the town's new priest. Young, quiet, with eyes that looked like they'd seen 1,000 lifetimes. "You're carrying something you were never meant to carry alone," he said to Ethan. "There's a place past McKinley Ridge. Go there, alone. Let the land speak to you." And without a word, Ethan went. But something in the priest's voice lingered. Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that this journey was more than just a walk through the woods. It felt like a test, a summons. Like something where someone was waiting for him out there. And though he didn't know it yet, the path ahead would challenge more than just his body. It would unearth something hidden, something long buried, something he wasn't sure he was ready to face. He didn't tell Mary. He didn't make a plan. He just walked through frost-covered fields, across rivers that bit at his bones, up ridges that scraped his knees and challenged his breath. For 3 days, he moved forward, not toward a destination, but away from what was killing him slowly. And then, the forest opened, but it wasn't peaceful, not at first. There was a weight in the air, like the woods were holding their breath. The clearing looked untouched, too untouched. It felt watched. Ethan paused. The kind of pause where your instincts whisper, keep moving, but your spirit says, be still. Something was off. Not dangerous, just unknown. And the unknown, when you're already broken, can feel like a storm. A clearing bathed in quiet gold, and at the center stood a temple. Ancient, weathered, covered in ivy and memory. Ethan stepped inside, not sure what he expected, but it wasn't this. Ants. Tiny, tireless, moving with purpose, building their homes in the cracks of the old stone walls. He watched, almost amused, until a gust of wind tore through the temple. In seconds, everything they built was destroyed. Ethan's breath caught, because he had lived that. Again and again, building something with all you've got, only to watch it fall apart. But what those ants did next, that undid him. They began again. No hesitation, no complaining, no waiting for the wind to stop. They just started over. And Ethan broke. Not like glass shattering. And maybe you felt this kind of breaking too. Quiet, unseen, heavy. If you're in a place where your heart feels too tired to carry what it's been holding, please comment. You don't have to explain everything. Just say something. I will read it. I will 100% try to help. Because, even in the silence, your story deserves to be heard. But like soil splitting open to let something grow, he dropped to his knees and he wept. For every year he had survived, but not lived. For every silent breakdown. For every time he showed up when his soul didn't want to. He stayed in that temple for days, watching, learning, healing. But one night, just before dawn, Ethan sat up from his sleep, drenched in cold sweat. A dream had gripped him, a memory, raw and unhealed. His father's hands, once so strong, trembling before they passed. The echo of words left unsaid, regrets that buried themselves so deep he didn't even know they were still alive. In the silence of the temple, he relieved them. Not to suffer them again, but to release them. And somewhere in that stillness, something inside him shifted. For the first time in years, he forgave himself for not being enough, for not saving what he couldn't control. But there was one night, just before dawn, when he heard it. A rustle, a whisper, a voice. He shot up, heart pounding, looked around. Nothing, only silence. But it didn't feel like nothing. It felt like the temple was speaking, or maybe something else was. A message not in words, but in presence. He wasn't alone. Not truly. Not ever. Until the seventh day, when Father Avery returned. You saw it, didn't you? Ethan nodded. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to begin again. And when he returned to Pine Hollow, people noticed. They didn't know why, but they felt it. The way he moved, the way he spoke, the way he listened with his whole chest. He reopened a mine, not to dig coal, but to dig courage. Taught young men how to rebuild, gave old men space to be soft, turned a place of labor into a space for healing. And every morning, when the sun rose over the mountains, you could hear the sound of hammers, not breaking, but building, not surviving, but starting again. But the story didn't end there. Ethan didn't just rebuild a space, he rebuilt a rhythm. He walked with fathers whose spirits had collapsed, sat in silence with men who didn't know how to cry, held the trembling hands of boys who didn't believe they'd ever grow into something strong. And maybe that's what rising looks like. Not loud, not public, not heroic, but consistent, quiet, sacred. And now I turn to you. And if this story feels like yours, if something in your life feels lost or on the edge, comment below. Say what's on your heart. You don't have to go through it alone. I'll read it. I'll respond. I'll show up for you the way someone once did for me. Because maybe you're not just watching this. Maybe you're in it. Maybe you're standing in your own kind of ruins, wondering if anything beautiful can grow from it. And maybe, just maybe, this is your temple, your turning point, your one quiet chance to say, I'm ready to begin again. You don't have to shout it, you don't have to explain it, but you can start it right here. And if you need someone to witness it, I will. If you need someone to hold space, I'm here. One day, someone is going to hear your story and whisper, "Because you didn't give up, I didn't either." So start. And if something in your personal life is weighing you down, something you can't fix, can't name, or can't let go of, I invite you again. Comment below. Let this be your moment. I will read it. I will try truly to help. Because healing begins when we're seen, not when we're silent. Even if it's small, even if it's shaky, even if it's silent. Start. Because your comeback story isn't behind you. It's ahead of you. And you've already made it this far. Let's rise. Just like Elated. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to have the courage to begin. Maybe your temple isn't made of stone. Maybe it's a hospital room, a job that's slowly breaking you, a silence no one sees. But whatever it is, this is your clearing. This is your moment. Send this to someone you refuse to give up on, someone who needs to remember that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, "Try again." And when they rise, you'll rise too. Together. You remember what I said at the beginning? That some stories don't arrive with fanfare, but with a whisper? This was one of them. And now, that whisper is yours. Carry it forward. Let it echo in your steps. Let it shape your next chapter. Because the mountain may have taken something from you, but what it gave you back is everything you need to begin again. And if something in your personal life feels too heavy right now, drop it in the comments. This space is yours too. I will be there. I will 100% try to help. You don't have to carry it alone anymore. And if this story stirred something in you, if your heart cracked open even a little, if something quiet inside whispered, "That's me," then do something bold, something beautiful. Hit the like button, not for the algorithm, but for the souls who need this just like you did. Subscribe, not for numbers, but so this space can keep showing up for you when life gets heavy again. And share it, not randomly, but with someone you know is struggling to find their way back to themselves. Because this is more than a video, it's a voice in the dark, a light on the path, a quiet reminder that healing isn't a destination, it's a direction. And right now, you are facing it. Welcome home. Welcome to the climb. Welcome to the community that sees you, really sees you.